it home, I dug her out, then I made her one of my aces. Marijuana fragrance, this tree here is outrageous. Want me to play in your city? Send an email to my agent.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we're back for episode 55 of the Utah Jazz Association here in NBA 2K13, and we have the conference semifinals going up against the New Orleans Hornets. We start out the series in Utah, and we're going to end up taking both the first couple games. New Orleans comes back and takes Game 3, but we steal Game 4 on New Orleans' home floor, so we have a chance to close out the series in 5 games back in Utah. Hopefully, we'll try to avoid a Game 6. Whenever you're in this type of situation, you always want to avoid losing this type of game and going to that Game 6, because at that point, you're back in New Orleans. They have a good chance of winning that game, and if they come out on top there, then you never know what can happen in the Game 7. So you definitely want to close out the series here and just end all hope. Try to save, get some rest, and just put this team to bed. That's really, that's the goal at this point. So New Orleans has made it back as far as they ever made it in the CP3 era, never making it past the conference semifinals. So you can say their rebuilding has gone very well so far, and hopefully they can achieve such real success in real life for New Orleans fans. As I'm sure many have high hopes for this season, but either way, this team does look a little bit different than the real life Hornets. As you'll see, we did play them in the last regular season game of this season, but pretty much same roster back then as it is now. You got guys like Nolan Smith, George Hill, Anthony Davis, obviously Eric Gordon, Cody Zeller, Ben McLemore, Wilson Chandler. But check out this lob to start out the game. That is going to be a sick alley-oop. Check out the replay. Rondo lobs it up. Paul George catches it, comes back down with it, and reverses on the slam. Very impressive slam for Paul George. So we get the ball back right here. 4-2 is your score. Utah still on top. Nice bounce pass to Derek Favors, who stops and pops to the 10-footer, and we take a 6-2 lead now down to 6-4. Eric Gordon trying to come back, running the break here, trying to go to work on Steph Curry, and Eric Gordon's really the best offensive option that we're going to have to watch out for today. We're going to try and put Rajon Rondo on him as one of our best perimeter defenders, and we don't want to get that size mismatch, putting Paul George on him, because then we'd have to have a guy like Rondo or Curry cover Wilson Chandler, and that could provide some problems for us. But here's Eric Gordon here running the break. He's going to use the contact and get the and one layup right there. So New Orleans jumps out to an early lead right here. It's 4 points. Here is Nolan Smith bringing the ball up. 14-10 is your score. Gives it to Wilson Chandler. Now Wilson Chandler obviously really not the same player since he did tear that labrum in his hip at the end of the 2012 season, but it's shown impressive, or has been impressive for this New Orleans team in this series as kind of a 5th or 6th option, to be honest. But they have great depth at the small forward position with Otto Porter, and I believe they have Jeff Green as well. But look at Jamal Crawford using the ISO. Ben McLemore, a poor defender, sags off of Jamal Crawford, and Crawford uses that to his advantage. Now here's an inbound from Jason Maxiell to Rondo. Rondo gives it down low to Derek Favors, and Favors puts it in. You know he's got a phenomenal touch around the basket. So it's a 1-point game here, and that is going to be your score. Going into the half, 19-18, Utah Jazz on top. A very defensive first quarter so far from both teams. A slow-paced game, trying to keep it on the defensive side of things, because I think that benefits our team a little bit more, because we do have the ability to kind of break out into 10-0 or 12-2 runs, stuff like that. So Jeff Woody cleans up the offensive boards right there, puts that one home. It's a 3-point game. Now here's Trevor Lyles with the ball, trying to go to work on Carl Landry. Not really going to his dribble, but he's going to fade away and put that one in. A very impressive shot from Trevor Lyles. So it's a 1-point game here. Paul George on the boards is going to give it to Anderson Terry to run the break. Terry up to Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford's going to spin around Otto Porter and put it in. Jamal Crawford was really coming up big so far today off that bench. We always look for like 20 or 30 points off the bench scoring wise. Sometimes you fail to get it, but Jamal Crawford's helping us out there. We cannot clean up the boards right there, but it's still a 1-point game. Jamal Crawford with the ball, trying to put us up on top even more. Jamal Crawford getting his 22-footer going right there, and that is going to be a 3-point game. Now Crawford catches the inbound pass, puts it up, no good, but Favors is there, out to Steph Curry, and Curry is going to splash that one home. So we extend our lead. Now it's a 6-point game. Now it's down to 4. Steph Curry coming off of the screens. He's going to stop and pop from mid right there and puts that one in. 32-26, a 6-point game right here. Now still 32-26. Eric Gordon with the ball, trying to dish it off. This time to Wilson Chandler, who gives it back to Eric Gordon from the free throw line, and he puts that 20-footer home right there. It's going to be an 8-point game right here. That's going to be a bad shot, rebounded by Cody Zeller. Zeller outlet to George Hill. Hill steps up, and he's going to knock down that three right there. George Hill, very underrated player in my mind. I think he's a big part to that Indiana Pacers success over the last couple of years. But here we go, 36-31 is your score. Rondo to Steph Curry. Curry's going to use the glass right there and put that one home. So it's back to a 7-point game. Rondo trying to lob that one up there to Favors. It careens off of the backboard right to Nolan Smith. Smith had an easy break right there, and he slams that one home. So it's down. Well, now it's back to a 7-point game. Cody Zeller's going to miss that shot right there. Jeff Green offensive boards to George Hill, and George Hill does what he does best, and that's hit those 3 balls on offense. And there we go. It's a 40-36 game, and that is going to be your score going into the half. So once again, only 76 combined points from these teams going into the half, or heading into the half. That is a very low-scoring game. And you can see here, we have held them to 34% shooting. We are only shooting 43% on our own. The difference in this game being those 6 extra free throws that we've hit over them. We're 12 of 12. They've only hit 6 of their shots. So anyway, Curry coming around the screen right here, catches the lob pass from Paul George, and Curry's going to knock down that 3. So we're trying to get him going early on in this second half. Here's Nolan Smith, though, being covered by Rajon Rondo, trying to get into the lane with the left. Great defense by Rondo, but he gets around him, and then Anthony Davis being covered by Steph Curry. That's just too big of a mismatch. Davis uses his strength up and unders into the basket right there. So 45-41, Eric Gordon with the ball, trying to cross over Derek Favors. Look at the sweet layup by Eric Gordon. He's a phenomenal finisher around the rim, one of the best in the NBA. Paul George, great outlet pass to Steph Curry. Curry's going to stop and pop from 3. He's going to miss that one, but Favors is there to clean up the boards. He's going to end up putting that one back in. So we get the 2 points anyway. Now it's a 4-point game. Anthony Davis going to work on Jeff Withey. Crosses up, then hop steps on Jeff Withey. And Derek Favors, that looked like it could have been a block, but they're going to call goaltend. Questionable call right there. But here's Wilson Chandler going around the screen, being covered by Paul George. Chandler, we're trying to contain him. He pulls up, and he is one of the best mid-range shooters in 2K. I swear, he hits everything sometimes, it seems like. But either way, here's Steph Curry with the ball on the foul line, extended left side of the court. He's just going to jab step a little bit, create some space, and Eric Gordon is just he's an atrocious defender. So that was a mismatch we were taking advantage of all game. But look at Eric Gordon on the step back, answering right back, and he hits a 3 of his own. So it's a 2-point game here. Anderson Terry's going to end up taking a bad shot, missing that corner 3. Landry on the offensive boards, that's what he does so well. We're going to find Paul George, great ball movement, top of the key for 3, puts that one home, and we retake the lead. So it's 66 all here, as this has become quite the offensive-oriented third quarter. But Rondo steps back, finds himself open for that 18-footer, and he puts it home. So Rondo's mid-range is looking good right now. It's a 2-point game. Jeff Green trying to drive on Roy Hibbert. That's a mismatch. Now Ben McLemore hop steps around Gary Harris and puts that one in. Now it's 68 all. Here's the shot at the buzzer. That's going to go in for Ben McLemore. So they take a 2-point lead with 0.7 seconds left on the clock. We're going to try and roll this one in, get one last shot. Rondo letting it go as far as he can. He sees McLemore try to go for it. McLemore actually steals it. His full court shot will not fall. So we're going to go into the 4th and final quarter of this ball game. 70-68 is your score. The Jazz have a 2-point deficit. So Rondo getting to work early on the pick and roll, gets around Ben McLemore, a poor defender as I described earlier. And Ben McLemore is going to, or I should say Rajon Rondo will slam that one home. So it's a 4-point game. Here is Nolan Smith at the top. He's going to give it to Cody Zeller. Back to Nolan Smith. Great ball movement. Good 2-man game right there from the New Orleans Hornets. And it's back down to a 2-point game. So still a 2-point game. Anderson Terry with the ball. We have our second unit in, as I like to start at the 4th quarter for the first 3 or 4 minutes with the second unit in. And then let the starting guys get the rest of the playing time for the day. So Jeff Withey hits that layup right here, back to a 4-point game. Here's Wilson Chandler, foul line extended. He's going to drive right over the middle. He's going to end up putting that one in with the left. Nice scoop shot from Wilson Chandler, and it's back down to a 2-point game. Favors in the post on Anthony Davis. He's a little bit too physical for Davis, so we're taking advantage of that mismatch. They double him, and Paul George is wide open from 3. He has really established himself as he has a great ability to hit spot-up shots, and that's really helped out our offense. Derek Favors, though, with the and-one layup. That was huge. We extend our lead to 8 points now. Nolan Smith trying to go to work on Roy Hibbert. Puts that one in off the glass. Nice little running floater from Nolan Smith. He's got 8 points and 8 assists so far on the game. And here comes Nolan Smith running the break. But he's going to end up realizing that he does not have numbers, so he's going to stop, step back. Rondo kind of gets caught in the defense and kind of gets caught in between some people. Smith finds himself open, and he hits that one to go. So Rondo on the break, putting in a sick crossover. He's going to end up dishing that off to Paul George in the corner for 3, and George knocks that one down. So it's back to a 6-point game. Now here's a 6-point game. They're doubling. They need to foul, but they're not going to. Curry gets around the defense, and Curry puts that one in. So it's an 8-point game. Now it's still an 8-point game. Ben McLemore, under 10 seconds to play, needs a quick basket of some sorts. They're going for the 3. George Hill takes a long 2. His shot's not going to fall. Caron Butler on the offensive boards. We throw up a last-second shot, and as time will expire, and the Utah Jazz have beaten the New Orleans Hornets in 5 games in the Western Conference semifinals. That wraps up this series. We are moving on to the conference finals. Another conference finals appearance for the Utah Jazz, the 3rd in this association. Actually, it might have been the 4th even. I can't quite remember. I know we made it in year 2, and then year 4, obviously, we won it. So I think year 3 we only made it to the conference semi. So this is our 3rd conference finals appearance in just the last 4 seasons. very phenomenal work by this team, by this young group, and our continued success is a very good sign for the future of this team. Obviously, we still have a young core, even though it is kind of getting into their primes of sorts. I mean, Favors is still under 25, I think he might be 25. Curry's like 29. Hibbert's 30. George is only 27, I believe. So we still have some young pieces on this team. And how can we forget about Rajon Rondo? He's only 29 as well. So anyway, young core getting the job done. Obviously, great success. I mean, this is our goal. We had further goals, but knowing that we are one of the 4 best teams in the league right now, that's a good sign for us. So anyway, you can take a look at the team stats right there. We finished with 49% shooting. They finished with 46%. So you can see how those increased as we got towards the second half. And you can see the Jazz stats right here. Favors with a beast, 23 and 11. He ends up with your player of the game. You can see we got some good bench scoring from some guys like Jamal Crawford. You can see here Eric Gordon drops 20. But Davis and Smith are the only other ones in double figures. So anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy. And says I'm out. Peace.